Hey guys, it's Frosting, and today is a little bit of a different video than I normally do because I have an announcement and also something cool to show you. Ba-ba-da-ba! Alright, so as we know, I've been using this Gacha Life avatar as sort of a representation of me in videos where I don't really want to show my face or film it in real life. Like, for example, anytime I react to something that Pudding made and I, use the avatar they designed for me and the thumbnails of it, or recently when I've been talking about Gacha Life in general, or just in videos in general, right? And on one hand, this is a very cute avatar, and I do really like it, and I am very, very happy that Pudding designed one for me, and that I am very happy that I have a Gacha-sona. However, this is a thing of the past. We can do better. You know why? The big announcement of the day is I have an actual avatar now that I designed with my own art style. Yippee! Personally, I love her very much. That was awful. Hold on. I love her very much, and I hope that all of you grow to love her as well. So today, I'm just going to be talking about a little bit of a brief history about her and, just the Frosting-sona in general, how she started, and at the very end, I'm going to teach you how to draw her so that you guys can make fan art if you want. You don't have to, obviously, but if you do, my email and Tumblr are linked on the channel if you guys want to send them to me. I'm also thinking about making a Discord server, but I'm not going to right now. I will later. Alright, so, first, this is the Frosting-sona. Basically, she is, I'm making a new profile picture, so this is the first one, so it's the same thing as my old one, I just put my avatar on top of it because I think it's really cute, and she's very happy, and she's very smiley, and she's here, she looks kind of like me in real life. I have a ponytail, I have, her eyes are her glasses. I'll explain more when I draw her, but she's just slapped on top of my usual profile picture, and the pink with the purple go well together, and she's just really cute. I also made this little promotional ad that I could print out and put places or post to other platforms or whatever I decide to do. But I think this is really cute. It also has a QR code that you can scan to subscribe to my channel. It might be a little blurry on here, but there you go. And I'm really proud of her, and I like her design a lot. And I think it took me a long time to come up with. There's a lot of stuff happening in the sketch phase. I started trying to figure out how to draw her in my sketchbook, and it started like, well, why can't I draw? Oh. It started out kind of like this, and this isn't great. This, we should really just, I'm not a fan of that, right? It went terribly. Art block sucks. It didn't really go well, and I tried to get over here, and it was just an absolute mess, until, finally, I figured her out. This little drawing right here is what started this whole thing, because, I finally got it, and it took me a little bit to figure it out, and now that I figured out what I wanted her to look like, I could then draw her, and draw her some more, and draw her some more, and more, and more, until I finally figured out what I wanted her to look like, and drew her digitally. Fun fact about this one, this silly little drawing down here was the back of a test ticket in my English class, and after I turned it in, I had to tell my English teacher, hey, after you're done grading, can I have that back so I can have my drawings? And then she kind of looked at me and went, fine. So I think it was Friday, she gave me my paper back, and I was like, yay! I'm filming this, like a couple days after, but anyway, it's really cute, and I like it, and I have a bunch of drawings on here where I'm like, A+, please? And, as you can see, she looks very different in the sketches than she does in general, like, especially these over here. I can never draw her right all the way. Excuse me. There's also just a ton of stuff that I want to incorporate into her design later. Like, instead of just drawing her smiley or with the little :3 mouth, I try to draw her in as many expressions as possible. Like, this one just looks like she's meh and like she's done with her life. This one looks like she's laughing so hard that she's crying. This one, she's, like, loud or just yelling. I wrote down that I wanted it to be like an emoji. So, like, you know how people have PNG tubers where they have a different little drawing of their character for every expression, and they just slap it on top of the video? Yeah, I want to do something like that, only better. I also made a sad one. Oh, poor Frosting. I want her to have big glasses, and the line eyes are easy to draw. If you do this smiley face, this is a lot easier to draw than if I, that was bad. That is easier to draw than if I just gave her, my normal, full-fledged anime style. That's too hard to draw compared to, oh, hey, Frosting, how are you doing today? Oh, good, I'm just gonna draw simple little smiley face, and of course I have to give her my glasses. There it is. I made an angry Frosting. Oh, look at her, she's so angry. I have a good one. There's just the default happy one. Let's see, I've drawn some more over here. I drew, I think this one's supposed to be embarrassed. It's really hard to see, but this one's supposed to be embarrassed because her little face is kind of like she's got the little lines there, right? And she's all like, ah. She's very embarrassed. And then I don't know what that one was. This one, it's just her being silly. I drew some more happy ones. This one, she's just down in general. She's just kind of sad. I don't know what that one was. Let's see. Oh, I also wanted to give her some, little, emoji type items that she could have. So, for example, I gave her a little heart. I gave her a little heart. I gave her a little star, a little crown, a party hat, popcorn bucket, a little music note. you know, one of those speech bubbles where it's like insert words here. The speech bubble kind of goes around it, and then there's a bunch of like stars and hearts, and this is gonna be really bad, but a bunch of little flowers and stuff, and it's like, wow, and there's sparkles everywhere, you know? And it's like, wow, I wanted to give her something like that. There's another wow one. I made a crying one. This one I find really funny because it's the back of her, so she like turned her back on you. That's funny. I gave her a little crown over here. I just also made some sketches for the eyes because her glasses are her eyes, right? This isn't great, but like whichever direction she's looking will be where the glasses are. So if she's just looking straight at you, it'll look like that. But if she's looking down, it'll look something like that. You know, if she's like rolling her eyes at you, it would look something like that. If she's looking over there, it'd be like that. If she's looking to the right, it'd be like that. If I wanted to make her have some cross eyes, she could be like that. Or, you know, the more accurate cross eyes where she's supposed to be looking straight at you, but it's actually not, you know. Anyway, I have some sketches for her eyes. I have even more drawings of her over here. I really like how stupid she looks when she looks angry. It's very funny. We have some attempts in some different colors because I was like, hey man, I have a little pink bias. Why don't I see what she looks like in different colors? So I tried drawing her in blue. I tried drawing her in green. The green one's not great. I tried drawing her in this like orangey, pinkish highlighter color. That was fun. And then of course a lot of pink, like I have on the test ticket. And over here I tried to give her a lot of like speech bubbles and little hands also. Like this one, I tried to give her those like, you know how people do like the fingers pointing together as like a cutesy woo like pleading moment. I tried to do that. I gave her the little hearts and the stars and all that fun stuff. Some swirlies on the side. This is a test with a 100 on it because I wanted a good grade. I have that and says I feel good because I felt like I did really good on that test. And I did. I got like an 80, which is good. I gave her the little heart bubble. I gave her a little ELA book. I decided to give her cat ears over here because I was like, what would she look like if she was a furry? So I did that. You know, she's just really fun to draw, and I really enjoy spending time with this character, and the fact that, like, she's basically just me, but the fact that I have an avatar to represent myself in videos now makes me very happy, and I'm going to start using her more. It's just the fact that when I draw her digitally, it takes forever because you have to color it and you have to shade it properly. Like, for example, if you look over here, back on these, not only did I color it, but I also had to add the highlights and shading and figure out the color. And then the skin has two colors, and then the mouth has two colors, and then I gave her gray in her eyes for some more shadow, and then I had to figure out her ponytail, and I wanted it to look, like, exactly correct, which is why all three of these are the same drawing, because I only decided to draw her the once. I will draw her more, and as I get more comfortable with her, I'll draw her even better, and I might honestly just make a template for, like, the base, and then just make the eyes and mouth a separate layer so that I can maybe, like, make the eyes, mouth, and eyebrows a separate layer so that I can just redraw them every time, and then have another layer extra for, like, extra stuff, like a speech bubble or tears or something. But yeah, now that we've gone on to that part, let's make a new layer, and now I'm going to show you how to draw frosting. I'm going to show you the simple, like, how I sketch her when I'm bored version, and also the how to, like, actually draw her version, so you get to kind of just hang out with me during both. So first, I'm going to start out with black, because that's the easiest color to draw in for me. So normally when I sketch her, I start out with a circle. They do not have to be perfect. If you're just drawing her in your sketchbook because you're bored or something, like I do, the circles are usually bad. I get this, or this, or this, all the time, and they are awful. So your circle does not need to be perfect. Then, you gotta give her the classic Hatsune Miku bangs. We all know what I'm talking about. She's got the triangle in the middle and the wizhoo and the wizhoo, right? You gotta give her the classic bangs. I usually start out by going like this, and going like that around. That was bad, so we're gonna do that again. They're not always perfect. I am not, like, the best artist in the world. There we go. I'm happier with that than the first one. Alright, then, for her ponytail, I just kind of pick a section around that part of her skull, like anywhere from here to here is usually where it sits, depending on what I'm doing. So, I just give her a swoopy, and it's always 1, 2, and 3 swoopy things exactly. As you can see, this came out really bad. So you know what? I'm going to do that again. We're going to give her ponytail swoopy, and then I'm going to give her the 1, the 2, and the 3. And there, as you can see, I like that a lot better. Then I also like to take this line and just curve it up more. Well, I like to take that line and curve it up more so that it looks better. And then that way, like, you can actually see where it goes in the hair. Because if you look at this layer, I did it over here too, and I think it looks a lot better than that. Then, for her eyeballs, you just give her 2 giant circles on her face. I can do better than that, though. You give her 2 giant circles, trying to aim, like, ovally circle shapes in between her eyeballs. That's usually what I go for. As you can see, that is not an oval. I don't know what the hell that is, but it is not good. Anyway, then, of course, you have to connect it, because they're glasses, and, you know, you give her giant eyeballs. For this particular example, I'm going to draw her angry, because I don't want to, like, have more versions of her that aren't super duper happy all the time. So, we're going to give her some eyeballs. We're going to give her very, very angry eyebrows. A nose is optional, in my opinion. Sometimes you could go in here and just give her a little one, or, like, a teeny tiny one, or you could skip it. I think it looks a little bit cleaner if she doesn't have one, but there are a lot of sketches where she does. Like, the first time I drew her, she did... I'm on the wrong layer again. Hold on. Where did that circle go? Okay, I got it. Anyway, there are a lot of examples of her where I did draw her with a nose. So, for example, she's got it on this drawing right here. She's got it in other ones somewhere, I think. She has it right here. Sometimes it's hard to see because her hair touches right where her nose would be, but she doesn't always have it, but sometimes she does. And, like, here we go. She's got it on this one. You know, it really just depends on where you think that should go, because, like, you can if you want. It's completely optional. I'm personally going to skip it because I don't really want to. So, there's that. Then, of course, since she's angry, she's probably yelling at you. So, we're going to give her, wait for it, I'm on the wrong layer. We're going to give her like that because she's not very happy with you right now. And then, of course, her mouth is probably open because she's talking. And, you know, there we go. That is the Frosting-sona. It's not great digitally sketched-wise. I think it looks better on pencil because the lines are a lot rougher, and I'm not trying as hard because I'm not normally filming myself when I draw. So, there's that. But now, for the fun part, I'm going to show you how I would actually draw her. Alright, so first, because I'm drawing digitally, we have cheat tools, such as lines and circles. Circles are the best part here. So, we start with a circle. I'm also going to make my lines a little bit thicker, because I like thicker lines compared to most people. So, we're going to... Hello? The fuck? That's as close as that's going to get. Alright, we're going to give her a circle. Voila. It's quite the beautiful little circle. I like it. Then, we're going to do her hair again, only I'm going to be a little bit more annoying about it, because I want it to be, like, good-ish, and, like, actually look really nice here. Once you get the hair where you like it, which I haven't yet, wait for it. Alright, there. Once you get the hair where you like it, you could then go in and erase the pencil sketch underneath. So this is the sketch layer so far. So, you know, you just take that and you erase the parts of it that you don't like. So, for example, you don't need this circular line underneath it anymore, because once you draw the circle, everything is going to get covered up inside said circle later on. So you don't really need a good chunk of that. And then, of course, I have to redraw my lines every time because I can't draw a line to save my life. Alright, there we go. Now, I have all of the lines kind of cleaned up and fixed to be mostly where I want them. There's still a couple of minor issues in here, but this doesn't have to be perfect because it's just an example. So, once we get her hair, we can then go back to doing her swoopy thing, which is a lot easier than the actual bangs, because the swoopy thing, you can just hit undo a bunch until we get it where we want it. Whoop. Alright, there we go. I like that swoopy thing a lot, so I'm glad that looks decent. Okay, then we can then go through here, and I'm going to take a little bit of this off of it, just because I want to see, like, where those swoopy things go. So, one. Nope, that was terrible. One. Nope. What is happening right now? Alright, we're going to start this backwards. So, because of how I draw her, her hair kind of starts down here. So, you know what? Yeah, that's not perfect, but that is close enough for filming purposes. Alright, there we go. And then I can continue my lines up, like I mentioned that I like to do. Just like so. And there we go. There is the official, like, silhouette outline of her. I might use just this at some point, but basically now that I have this, I can use this as a template for everything else, and then add her other features on a different layer next time I go to draw her. But I'm not doing that. For now, next up is her glasses. So, I just make an oval of the shape that I want for her glasses. So, I'm going to glance at how I did it over here. Her glasses are very big, and they cut off part of her bangs, and they go, like, into her head because they're so big. So, we got to reflect that in our glasses. That might be a bit wide. Alright, there we go. I like that shape. So I'm now going to trace the outside of that. Not that far outside. What is happening? Alright, there we go. Trace the outside of that. Make sure the circle stays aligned with the lines. Thank you, ABS Paint, for putting that on there. Maybe a little bit more in, and there we go. And then I can trace that. Turn the circles off, and go through the middle, and give her a nice, thick little glasses line. Ta-da! And now, she has glasses! And then from there, you can go back in and erase all of the lines that are inside her glasses because we don't need them there. Like that. And look, part of her hair seeping through into here too, so we can get rid of that. This is why I suggest doing it on a separate layer, because of the fact that the glasses are also part of the template, so they could be like on a whole nother layer of things. This isn't perfect, but we get the idea. And then that, I'm just gonna and that's as close as that's gonna get. Actually, we're just gonna undo that. I hate the fact that I messed with that. Alright, there we go. Now, she has glasses, and I think they're very cute. So, like I said a minute ago, I'm going to be drawing Angry Frosting today because I want to give her a different face than the one I've been normally drawing with her. So, we're making her angry. So the next step into doing that would be her eyebrows. Very angry eyebrows. I think that is good enough. I can probably do better, though. That's a little much. This is so silly. Can I cheat with the mirror tool? Can I? Is that allowed? We're cheating with the mirror tool. There we go. No, wait. I still hate that. There. That's better. Alright. We cheated with the mirror tool. But there it is. She has the little angry eyebrows now. And then, of course, we have to give her the angry little mouth I had, where she was going to yell at you because she's clearly angry about something. We're not bucket tooling it this time because we're going to be doing something with it. And then, of course, we got to give her the big old glasses. So mirror tool can come back now. To give her, wait for it. Does that look straight to you guys, or does that look off? I think it looks a little off. Can't draw a straight line to save my life. That's what's wrong. That's better. All right, I used my finger on that one, so that's better. All right, there we go. Now the outline is done. Next up from there is go underneath it with the color layer and grab the colors that we need. And then my favorite trick for that is, because of the fact that I did this once over here, we can just color drop them and steal the colors. So I'll need this color for that layer, and I'll need this color for her shading, just like so. I'll need this color for her hair, this color for her hair shading, and this color here for her hair highlight, just like so. Then for the inside of her little mouth, I'm going to need this color. and this color for the shading of that. For the insides of her eyes, I'm going to need this gray, like so. And then there we go. That's all the colors that we need from frosting there. So we're going to take that off of there, go to our happy little bucket tool. What layer am I on? The right layer. We're going to grab the colors and fill in the base colors, just like so. And there we go. Now she has the base colors. So then from there, we can take the other colors that we need. Let's start with the mouth and give her all the shading. I'm using a thicker brush tool here, so this is easier. There we go. Her mouth has some shading now. That's good. And then her hair could get some shading as well. So I don't remember how I did it over here, but I like to do shading on the top and then shadows on the bottom, especially in like emoji style stuff like this where there isn't really a light source to worry about. So we can just give her all the shading we want. This is a lot more difficult to do than I thought it would be. Alright, now all of the highlights and shading and whatnot have been done in her eyes. Or no, not her eyes, her hair. I can't talk today. So next it's on to her skin tone. Normally for this one, I just like change the bucket tool on her, like right here, to be that color. Like in between, like this top layer in between her eyes and her glasses and anywhere under her bangs. Because that's just makes sense, like where a shadow would go there. And so to continue with that, I also just continue down the side here and to mostly like her face and whatnot. And if we go back to regular frosting, you can see that I kind of stop at the bangs there. I think it just makes more sense in my opinion. There we go, just like so. I'm also going to continue the shading under her glasses because that makes sense in my head. And yeah, there we go with that. Now the only other thing that I do is I get a shade of gray. I have this one picked out already, and I get my drawing tool back. And I try to give her the shade line like that. Gotta find where the lines are on this thing again because I genuinely don't remember, but like so. And then if there's any gaps, I'll go fill those in. Oh wait, that was bad, hold on. You can see that on the outside. We don't want you to be able to see that on the outside. Alright, that's good enough for my example. Okay, and there we go. There's Angry Frosting. Her eyebrows are down and she looks like she's mad at you and she's probably yelling at you. You could also go in with like a speech bubble and There we go. She's saying not very nice things to you, and she's clearly angry. So, yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed that, and I'm glad that we all know how to draw my Frosting-sona now. Do whatever you want with her. Just, if you do decide to draw her, my only rules with her are please don't make it weird. Like, I don't want to see a pregnant Frosting-sona. I don't want to see myself turned into a furry or anything super inappropriate. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I do want a fursona eventually, but it doesn't have anything to do with this. It's just because I think they're cool looking and I admire the people who make them because they look so hard to make. But yeah, that's basically it for all of that. I hope that you guys had a fun time with this video, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.